Buff Army, I'm here today to clear the confusion about the all or none principle when it comes to training a muscle. You see, there are those that will say that when you train a muscle, either it'll contract or it won't. Now this is a true statement, meaning that if you want to work your biceps, either when you try and lift the weight up, you'll contract it or you won't. Now this is a true statement and a true training principle, but what some people will try and extrapolate from that is that since you can either allow a muscle to contract or won't contract, you can't emphasize a muscle and you can't isolate it. They will say therefore that it is practically pointless to try and do isolation work or to try and do different exercise variations because the muscle will either grow or it won't. Now, here's where the confusion sets in. It's true, you can't isolate one muscle only, meaning when you do the bench press and it's working your entire chest, you can't say, you know what, fuck all you guys, I want to work just there. So you can't isolate it. It won't work in a closed vacuum. You can, however, emphasize it, which means that the whole muscle will contract and all the several different muscles will contract. But if you select a different angle, slightly increase the angle of the bench press, a shallow bench press, choose to bring it slightly higher, you can help emphasize the upper chest. Emphasize. Remember, that's the key word. That's bullshit. You can't isolate a muscle. I tried isolating my brain by reading a book. This got me confused. I think I lost some muscle in my brain by trying. And emphasize is the key word in that statement because there'll still be work going on with your entire chest, but you could put more of an emphasis or more work being done by one specific area. And that's the very important point that I want to make in this video. Exercise variations are very important training tools to help us bring up lagging areas. And an exercise variation works by putting a particular part of a muscle in a better mechanical advantage, such as I just said, when you come to the flat bench press, increasing the angle to a shallow incline bench press so you could greater emphasize your upper chest. And that is why most guys will look the same year after year, because they do the exact same training routine and they don't learn how to train the weak body parts. If we use the bench press as an example, once again, everybody loves the bench. And we take a look at the bench press and most guys where they're developed. You'll notice that they're most developed in the middle chest and they'll tend to bench press a lot. If the middle portion of the chest is doing the most amount of work when it comes to your entire chest and you continue just bench pressing, which just increases the middle chest, you're never ever going to help grow and fix that weak lagging upper chest area. Because when you bench press, the middle chest is telling the upper chest, you know what? Stay the fuck out of this. I got this. It's being greedy. It's taking over the work. Remember, a muscle that's larger and better activated would be easier to train. So stronger areas will just get stronger and weaker areas will remain the same. Now, there is something very important I should mention here, and that's that you can't influence your origin and insertion. And this is where great genetics come in. One of the most popular areas to look for this is when it comes to the bicep. You know, everyone will have a different shaped bicep depending on their bicep peak. And this is largely dependent on your origin and insertion, something that you can't influence. So while you can emphasize some areas, bring up a lagging chest, you can't change the shape that will develop from that muscle. So if I wanted a super big bicep peak and I wanted the muscle to come a little bit lower, more round, around a more fuller belly, I can't do that. It's genetics. But that's all good because we're trying to build the best body that we can build. And this means learning to use with time. If you're a beginner and you're 110 pounds soaking wet, can't even flex your chest, this shit's not relevant to you. But for the guys that are looking, intermediate advanced for better training tips, it's all about using those exercise variations to bring up the lagging areas of your body, those weak areas, and learning how to emphasize them. Buff Army, that is the video. One of the most key principles when it comes to training is customization. Doing things that work for you. Using or knowing the all or none principle can help inform us how we should alter our training by learning how to emphasize what we need to emphasize. Thanks as always for watching the video. Make sure to like, share with friends, and subscribe. Buff Army, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Or I should say I'll be seeing all you guys in the next video.